Hello fellow gamers, I'm Christopher Chrisman of Retro Game Network, and coming up next, a look at last week's retro video game news on the RGN Files for the week ending Saturday, August 17, 2019. In the RGN Files this week, Konami has announced that they will be increasing the total number of games that will be included in their upcoming TurboGrafx 16 mini console. The device will feature games from both the North American and Japanese regions, with the same game list being offered regardless of which region you live in. Konami increased the total number of games in the collection from about 50 to about 57, taking into consideration the duplicates that occur due to some games having both the North American and Japanese counterparts included. The PC Engine makes up for 6 of the 7 games added to the mix and consists of Sire Spriggan Mark II, Dragon Spirit, Galka 88, the Genji and the Haika clans, and the Legend of Valkyrie. On the TurboGrafx 16 side, one new addition, the Cult Classic Splatterhouse, gets added to the final list. In an updated total, the upcoming device will now include 25 English games and 32 Japanese language titles. This is a reminder that none of the Japanese-only games will offer any form of English translation. The TurboGrafx 16 and PC Engine mini consoles are presently scheduled to be released on March 19th of next year and is available exclusively via Amazon. The systems are available for pre-order and sells for just under $100. This past April, we had reported on the new homebrew port of the arcade classic Rygar, which was coming to the Commodore Amiga computer platform. Having been praised over the years for its solid gameplay, good story, decent graphics, and excellent soundtrack, this new port of the game will bring it to the 16-bit computer platform for the very first time. After several updates, it has been announced that the new port is almost finished and is slated to be released within the next few months for the masses to enjoy. The port has been created by homebrew developer Graham Cowie, who has been working on this edition for over the past year and a half. Being programmed in 68020 assembly language, it was first developed as an entry to, and later the winner of, the English Amiga Board's Game Development Compo in 2018. In his latest update, it was announced that the game is approaching completion, and he showed off features such as new graphical additions, smoother gameplay, a plethora of enemies, and powerful weaponry. The game will officially be released at Amiga 34 Germany this upcoming October, and will be offered as a free digital download at that time. Those wanting a physical copy on a floppy disk will be able to grab one at the convention. However, a limited number of units will be available for sale at a currently undisclosed price. The Columbia Broadcasting System, or CBS, has announced plans to develop a feature-length documentary and miniseries based on the book Console Wars. The novel, whose full title is Console Wars, Sega, Nintendo, and the Battle That Defined a Generation, was first published back in 2014 and featured an inside look at the history between the popular battle between the two video game giants throughout the 1990s. During the time of the original book's writing, Arthur Blake J. Harris had support from Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, who had also both contributed to the book's foreword. Rogen had said at the time that he was interested in turning the book into a movie. Fast forward to this month, with the announcement that CBS will be entering the world of television documentaries for their all-access video-on-demand service, with their first feature being one based on the book. In addition, CBS also announced that they would also be developing a miniseries that is based on the original source material. The documentary will be produced in partnership with Legendary Pictures, alongside of Oscar-winning documentarian Doug Blush. There has been no word on a possible release date or production start for either of the two projects. CBS All Access subscriptions start at just under $6 per month. Everyone out there has had their own thoughts about how systems of yesterday and today could be improved. Better graphics and sound, augmented reality, a better organized online store, just to name a few. However, how many of you out there have ever had the desire to have a video game console be able to breathe fire? One gamer actually had such a curiosity and has created a new homebrew hardware hack that gives physical fire-breathing capabilities to the Nintendo 64. Dubbed as the Heavy Metal N64, this new hardware modification is the creation of YouTuber BitHead1000. The custom case was built to handle high temperatures of physical fire, being made of metal instead of plastic to prevent the console from melting. The replica case also features a 3D spinning N logo, which is backlit by a red light in front of the console. Inside the system, you will find dual gas valves that are connected to a series of plastic tubes that are used to spray out lighter fluid, which causes the ignition. Players press a button added to the controller to trigger the flame-throwing mechanism on the console. BitHead1000 showed off the entire build process from start to finish in a 22-minute time-lapse video, which shows off the entire project's development. This specific one-of-a-kind console is currently not available for sale. Last year, Coleco revived their classic arcade tabletop collection from the 1980s with a new lineup called Coleco Evolved. The collection started with games based on Rainbow Brite and Robotech, and were both Kickstarter successes. This week, Coleco launched a new campaign to continue with this success, with 2 new additions to the modern lineup, featuring the likes of the arcade classics Berserk and Frenzy. The new wave of tabletops this time around will actually come in a 2-in-1 cabinet, with both of the games being available on the same device. There will be 2 different shelves made available, one featuring artwork from both of the games, while a second collector's edition shows artwork exclusively from Berserk. No matter which version a supporter selects, the devices feature a full-color LCD display, updated gaming chipsets, revamped joysticks, and action buttons. Unlike the original tabletops from the series in the 1980s, the updated lineup uses rechargeable lithium-ion batteries as opposed to using standard alkaline batteries. The standard edition is being offered for a pledge of $79, with the collector's edition selling for $89, with early bird offerings being $10 less. The campaign, which needs $65,000 to be a success, ends on September 14th, with shipping starting by March of next year if in fact successful. Independent video game developer Champ Games has released a new demo in the form of a downloadable ROM image for their upcoming Atari 2600 port of the arcade classic Wizard of War. While the Atari 2600 port of the game was considered to be a decent one for the time, those at Champ Games wanted to make it feel more like the original arcade title. Demonstrations of the upcoming game have been released previously by Champ, however this new one that was made public earlier last week is said to be 99% completed. Still to be finished for the final release include new Atari Box speech phrases, sound effects for the crumbling walls during advanced mode, as well as some gameplay tweaks and difficulty ramping if it's deemed necessary. The new demo requires Stella version 6.0.1 or better, or Stellarator, and can be run on original hardware via the Harmony or Harmony Encore cartridges. Save key support as well as the game's options have been disabled in the demo, alongside of the maze editor and custom maze playability. The game also goes back to the first dungeon after the completion of the 8th. Champ Games' new port of Wizard of War is scheduled to be made initially available on October 19th at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo, and will be released generally at a later date. And finally this week, the popular internet meme known as Trollface turns 11 years old next month, and one retro video game homebrewer is taking the time to celebrate the occasion by creating a title with his likeness. The Trollface meme was originally drawn by Carlos Ramirez, an Oakland-based artist, as a part of a Microsoft Paint webcomic about the pointless nature of trolling on the 4chan message boards in the late 2000s. A new game for the Commodore 64 brings Trollface to the retro video game community with a game crack known as Donkey Trolls. In the game, which was developed by Lobel, Snabble, and Cal, your goal is to fly to the top of the level and smack Trollface right in the nose. A combination of the meme with Donkey Kong-like gameplay, you flap around the level collecting drinks, all the while building up enough energy to punch the Donkey Troll in the face in order to move on to the next level. In defense, not only will the troll throw keyboards at you, but if you don't build enough punch force, you won't be able to hit him in revenge when you get within range. The game is available as a free download, ready for use on your favorite Commodore 64 emulator of choice, or on disk if you know how to do so. Trollface was first shown off on 4chan's Video Games message board on September 19, 2008. That's it for this week's edition of the RGN Files. Our official radio program, VGM on FM, is currently on summer hiatus and is presently scheduled to return to the airwaves on September 9th of this year. For complete details of any of this week's stories, visit RetroGameNetwork.com. And don't forget to check us out on our social media outlets, on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Retro Game Network, and on Twitter and Twitch at RetroGameNet. For the RGN Files and Retro Game Network, I'm Christopher Christman. This week's news stories provided by the following: Champ Games, Coleco Industries, Deadline, GBA Temp, Geek.com, IGN, Indie Retro News, Potato.